In a dark void that seems to stretch on forever, there was an upside-down castle covered in black. The strange thing about the castle is that even though it's in the void with no source of light, you could see it as clear as day. The castle in the end of space and time itself, or as it's better known throughout all of existence, the Castle of the Void. The existence of this all-powerful being was stuff of legends among all. Some thought he was a myth. Others that knew he existed both feared and respected this being, for he was the true ruler of all. He was so powerful that his true body had to be kept in his own infinite space. Void God Azathoth. His true body was too overbearing for those in his presence. That's why he has been using a pseudo body. But even with this body that didn't even have quarter of his true power, he was still the strongest being. Sitting on his throne where he looked so intimidating, while his right hand was on his forehead, he was contemplating what lead up to this. Flashback a long time ago. While he was still just a god, but kept all his responsibility a secret and just kept playing with his friends and doing nothing. He was Rimuru Tempest, the great demon lord, that saved the world from destruction. Times were different. He was having fun playing around. Sometimes he and his friends would go to other worlds just to play around, or even hunt arrogant gods and slaughter just to alleviate their boredom. We were known as the Octagram. Years after Dagruel's death, and after constant complaining, Rimuru decided it's better to bring him back to life so they wouldn't have to settle with a new name. In those days, Rimuru started to live his life. Being a true species, the first thing he did was to convince Ciel to give him back his son on the condition that she became his first wife, and he instantly agreed to this. He also made sure that Tempest his nation wasn't dependent on him and all his top executives, so after some time, he and all his top subordinates retired at the request of Rimuru, making Tempest a true democracy. This sent shockwaves through the entire world. The people have never experienced something as drastic as this. Many countries tried to capitalize on this, but to no avail. They thought Tempest would be weaker than ever before, but they were sadly mistaken because the residents of Tempest were the highs when it come to education. Rimuru took the black number along with his top 12 patrons everywhere he went, having the most fun they could have, until one day he told them all that he is giving them all a vacation of 20 years, after that he had something for them to do that he has been putting off for some time now. They tried to argue with him, but he just said it was an order, and they all accepted it. Before they left, he told them that when time is up, he'll call all of them again, then they'll begin a new journey under him. Some even spent the entire 20 years wondering what their lord had in store for them, and kept it their eternal joy, contemplating what it could be. When Rimuru gave his subordinates their vacation, he wanted to spend his time living at the palace in Sarion with one of his lovers, Elmacia, the emperor. When the other ladies got wind of this, they made their presence known and just started showing up. Elmacia could only let them be. To be honest, she kinda expected it. The women that practically moved in were Shion, Shuna, and Chloe. There, they spent time together with their beloved Rimuru. All those around Rimuru were constantly hammering on what he was planning once the 20-year vacation was over. It got so bad that Guy decided to hold a Walpurgis, and all the demon lords kept pestering Rimuru, but to no avail. He just kept saying, "Y'all know when it's the right time to know." So with that, everyone just had to sit back and enjoy the wait. At this time, the 20-year mark slowly came to an end. The first thing Rimuru did was hold a meeting with his subordinates and told them not to talk about this with anyone, and that this order is absolute, and no one said anything. After that, he took all his demons in the black numbers and placed them in an infinite space and told them to stay for a while, which they did. After that, he brought all the members of the patrons, some of his executives, Chloe, and the other kids, Elmacia, her mother Selphie, along with Errol and Aaron, and Gazelle, and his 5 commanders, to a castle at the end of space and time. The castle was perfectly in the middle of a pink nebula that Rimuru made to give it more color. Along with them came the members of the Octagram, along with 3 remaining true dragons. Some had complete horror, while some were amazed by what they saw. All of a sudden, the castle doors went open, showing a man that they all recognized. He was Diablo, the Black Primordial. Diablo. Greetings, everyone. I'm glad that you have all shown up for today's glorious meeting that will shake the foundation of all of creation. When he said that, all of a sudden, the air became tense. The butler simply ignored them and continued. Diablo. So, with that, I ask all of you to follow me. Everyone just remained silent and continued to follow the Black Primordial. When they entered the palace, they were all in awe and couldn't stop looking around. The palace was completely out of this world. It was unlike anything they had ever seen. The color scheme consists of black, gray, white, and gold. They were aware of just what this meant. These colors represented the one man they have all known very well, the man who can make the impossible happen. He was the god of all as was and will always be, but they all agreed a long time ago that it's just better to refer to him as the Omni King Rimuru.